Hello class, welcome to Connected. Hello dear children, we have all heard that water is the main form of life or is the main support of life on planet Earth. We have also come across facts that state that the planet Earth is 70% water. So today in this lesson, we are going to study the sources of water in India. We will mainly focus on the rivers of India and also look into the rivers of Goa. A drainage is a system formed by multiple streams of rivers that come together and join at a single point and form a bigger river. It is an area or a point where many small rivers are better known as rivulets meet and form a bigger river. The diagram of drainage can be compared to a funnel. While adding water in the funnel, we can add the water from various directions, but it all comes together and flows out as one single stream of water. Similarly, when many small rivers come together and flow as one single river, it is known as drainage. The dimensions of the drainage are dependent and can be controlled by the topography or the structure of the land. Topography means the amount of slopes, stones, etc. lying below the flowing river. The area surrounding the drainage basin is called a catchment area. The drainage basins are separated by topographical features like ridge hills or mountains. It is known to form geographical barriers. These geographical barriers can be called watershed or water divides. Rivers are one of the most significant water bodies in India. Rivers influence our culture, economy, and society. Rivers are the most primitive establishments in our country. There have been several constructions like dams, bridges built on rivers. But these developments have not restricted the flow and the behavior of these rivers. People in this country believe that they were benefited when they lived on the banks of the rivers. They could practice agriculture with abundant water. They could use these waters for household purposes. Hence, a large population has been observed to be settled on the banks of the river. The basic requirements for agriculture are adequate sunlight, fertile soil, and abundant water. In ancient times, during the development of Indian agriculture, the farmers believed that if they settled on the banks of any river, they could supply sufficient water for the crops to grow. The rivers of India form a major source of irrigation. A river valley is an area formed by the flowing of areas. It is generally V-shaped. The soil in these areas is fertile and best suited for agriculture. Besides agriculture, rivers have supported revenue generation through hydroelectric power generation and river transport. Tourists from various countries have been attracted by the marvelous beauty of the river and its surrounding areas. Tourist activities like river rafting, pilgrimage spots, and the holy cities have also been a magnet attracting several tourists from India and abroad. Rivers have proven beneficial to promote tourism and help increase the economy of the country. We read the meaning of drainage in the above slides. Let us move to the next part to understand the various types of drainage patterns. There are 5 drainage patterns observed based on the way the river flows. The first pattern is the dendritic pattern. This pattern is created by the flowing of the river on the land. These dendritic patterns are generally V-shaped valley. This is a commonly seen pattern and can be compared to various branches of the tree joining the main trunk. The Indo-Gangetic plains are a good example of the dendritic pattern of drainage. The second type of drainage pattern is a parallel drainage pattern. This pattern is usually observed in the region of steep slopes. Due to the steep slopes, it is observed that the water closes with higher velocity. The uniformly sloping surfaces of the Western Ghats are a perfect example of parallel drainage. The third pattern of drainage is known as the Trellis of drainage. It is usually observed in areas where hard and soft rocks exist. In this pattern, the tributaries of the main river form at right angles with each other. The folded mountains in the Chota Nagpur plateau are a perfect example of trellis drainage. The fourth type of drainage pattern is observed is rectangular drainage. The unique feature of this drainage is right angle bends and right angle functions between tributaries and the main stream. The Vindhya ranges are a perfect example of rectangular drainage. The fifth kind of pattern observed is radial drainage. It is observed to be formed near the mountain peaks, where the tributaries are observed to flow in the same direction. An example of this kind of drainage is the river Mahanadi and Narmada, which originate from the Amarkantak hills. The main river, its tributaries, and the large water body in which the river drains are collectively called a river system. The Indian river system comprises 7 major rivers and their numerous tributaries. The majority of the rivers are observed to drain themselves in the Bay of Bengal. The westerly flowing rivers tend to drain themselves into the Arabian Sea. The rivers of India originate from 3 main sources that are the Himalayas and the Karakoram ranges, the Vindhya, Sapura, and Chota Nagpur plateau and the Western Ghats. Besides the classification based on their origin, rivers are also segregated into 4 types known as the Himalayan rivers, the coastal rivers, the Deccan rivers, and the rivers of the inland drainage basin. The Himalayan rivers receive water from the monsoon as well as from the melting snow in summer. The Himalayas receive heavy rainfall and flood in the monsoon season. The Himalayan rivers originate in the mountains and gushing towards the sea following a steep slope. Due to the steep nature of the path of the river, the velocity of the water increases and it erodes the land below. To this, the river water flows with slits and aluminium positive in the lower regions of the flowing river. The river in its lower roots forms various structures like meanders, oxbow lakes, and represents many depositional feet. The landform that is formed at the mouth of the river, irrespective of the location of drainage, is known as a delta. These deltas are formed by the deposition of the silt and the alluvium that the river carries on its course from the mountains to the lower phase. Some examples of delta in India are the Ganga Delta. This region has multiple names like the Sundarbans Delta, Ganga's Brahmaputra Delta. It is known as the world's fastest growing delta. It is also the world's largest delta and the most fertile region. It is also known as the Green Delta. The next example of delta is the Krishna Delta, which is 6,322 square kilometers and is 95 kilometers wide. The Godavari Delta is 9,000 square kilometers. This Godavari Delta is the second largest mangrove in the country. Unlike the Himalayan rivers, The peninsular rivers are non-perennial. These types of rivers receive the water from the rains. Hence, the volume of the river fluctuates depending on the monsoon season. It is observed that the major rivers like Godavari and Kaveri are observed to have varying volumes of water due to the same reason. In comparison to Himalayan rivers, the peninsular rivers are shorter and shallower. The coastal rivers are also considered non-perennial since they depend on rains. They show the same characteristic features as the peninsular rivers, that is, they are short and flow swiftly. An additional feature is they form deeply entrenched valleys. The coastal rivers join the Arabian Sea in the form of estuaries. In the state of Rajasthan, most of the rivers remain dry throughout the year due to insufficient rainfall. In the next slide, we are going to read about the differences between the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers in a tabular form. We have studied many of these points in the discussions above. Therefore, read the table carefully and understand the significant differences between the two types of rivers. The Himalayan rivers. The Himalayan rivers lie in the snow-covered mountains and are of perennial type. The peninsular rivers. The mountains from which the peninsular rivers rise are not snow-covered, hence they dry up during summer. The Himalayan rivers. They flow on leveled northern plains and are highly useful for irrigation, cultivation and navigation. The peninsular rivers. The peninsular rivers flow on the rocky surface, therefore they are less navigable but useful for irrigation. The Himalayan rivers. The Himalayan rivers brings with them fertile alluvium which they deposit in the Indo-Gangetic plains. The peninsular rivers. They do not bring with them any alluvium. Due to their swift current, the depositional activity is negligible. Now, we are going to study some important rivers in India. There are three significant rivers in the Himalayan river systems, namely the Ganga and the Brahmaputra river. Let's look into the characteristics of this river one by one. The Indus River originates in Ibet from the northern slopes in the Kailash range. This river flows near Mansarovar Lake, which is at a height of 5,180. The course of the river gradually shifts towards the west and enters India through Ladakh. The tributaries of the river Indus are the Ashok, Zaskar, Nubra and the Hansa. The Indus River flows to various locations and emerges from the mountain in Pakistan. The rivers of India, such as the Satluj, the Beas, the Ravi, the Chenab, and the Jhelum, drain into the country in Pakistan. Indus is one of the longest rivers in the world. It eventually flows into the country of Pakistan. The state of Punjab in India is famously known as the land of five rivers. The state receives its name from this characteristic property. The word Punjab can be divided into two parts, Panj and Ab, which mean five and water respectively. The tributaries of Indus form these five rivers known as the Beas, the Chenab, the Jhelum, the Ravi and the Satluj. Let's discuss the holy river Ganga. There are various names of this river on its journey. The river Ganga is known to originate from the Gangotri glacier. At the origin, it is called Bhagirathi. Later, at Devprayag, The main stream of this river, Alaknanda, joins the river. The Bhagirathi river gets its name Ganga after reaching Devprayag. This river then flows to Haridwar. On its downward course, the river Ganga merges with the river Yamuna. The river Yamuna originates in the Yamunotri glacier in the Himalayas. Both the Ganga and the Yamuna flow parallel and combine with the river Ganga at Prayagraj. Some rivers have their sources in Nepal Himalayas such as the Ghagra, the Gandhak and the Kosi. The river Kosi is called the sorrow of Bihar. Let's read the lesson and understand more about it. The Chambal, the Betwa and the Son are the left bank tributaries of the Ganga river that originate in the peninsular plains. These rivers carry scanty water as they originate from semi-arid regions. As the river Ganga merges with its tributaries, it is observed that its volume rises. The river Ganga continues to flow in the eastward direction till the Farakka barrage in the state of West Bengal. This part is known as the northernmost point of the delta of Ganga. The river Ganga flows through the Sundarbans and then changes its direction to the south and drains itself into the Bay of Bengal. River Hooghly, on which the city of Kolkata is situated, is a significant tributary of river Ganga. River Damodar is the tributary of river Hooghly. As the river flows into the country of Bangladesh, its name changes to the Padma. This river Padma merges with river Brahmaputra in Chandpur, a place in Bangladesh. It also known as Meghna or Jamuna. The Ganga is one of the longest rivers as it flows over a distance of 2500 kilometers. As we studied, the river Kosi is known as the sorrow of Bihar. Similarly, the river Damodar is known as the sorrow of Bengal. This name is given to the river due to the danger it causes to the property and the life of the people due to its sudden flooding and sudden change in the direction of the river. The Farakka barrage is a barrage built in the state of West Bengal across the river Ganga. The distance between the border of Bangladesh and this barrage is approximately 10 kilometers. This barrage, with a length of 2,240 kilometers, was begun constructed in the year 1960 and was completed by 1974. The purpose of this barrage was to divert the Ganges River into the Hooghly River. This was done especially in a dry season, that is from January to June, to flush out the accumulated silt on the port of Kolkata. The Murshidabad and Malda districts of the West Bengal are divided by this river. The origin of the Brahmaputra river lies in the Angsi Glacier, which is at a height of 5,150 meters near Mount Kailash range in Tibet, which is at 100 kilometers to the east of the Mansarovar Lake. The Mansarovar Lake is situated next to the river in the sand first let. The length of the river Brahmaputra is 2900 kilometers. It is also considered one of the longest rivers in the world. Like the river Ganga, the river Brahmaputra also has various names depending on the regions it flows through. For example, it is called the Yarlung Tsangpo in Tibet and Jamuna in Bangladesh. The tributaries of the river Brahmaputra are the river Tista, Manas, Lohit, Dihang and Subansiri. This slide contains some additional information that is going to add to your general knowledge. Did you know the river Brahmaputra is also known as the Red River of India? The red soil of Assam that it brings along while flowing gives it the characteristic red color. Various ferries and boats are used as waterways on mountains. They are built at a height of 3,658 meters above MSL. They are made up of bamboo and leather materials. The waterway is 670 kilometers long and gives a spectacular view of the Brahmaputra river on the Tibetan region. The river Brahmaputra is known to flow in the easterly direction parallel to the Himalayan range. Because the climate in the Tibetan plateau is cold and dry, the Brahmaputra river tends to carry very less water. The river Lohit comprises the Brahmaputra river that joins the Dehang river. The region where the river meets experiences heavy rainfall and hence the volume of the Brahmaputra river swells up and it carries more water. As the volume swells of the river carries with it more amount of silt. During the monsoon season, as the river receives extensive amounts of water, it swells up and causes floods and tremendous losses of life and property. A unique feature of this river is that it shifts its floor due to the large amount of silt that it carries. The river Brahmaputra is known as the Yarlung Sangpo in the Tibetan plateau. This river enters a gorge and forms a geographical structure known as a canyon. This river is 240 kilometers long and makes its way cutting through the Himalayan range in the east. The river passes through the Namcha Barwa. Let's discuss rivers of peninsular India. These rivers include the rivers of the Western Ghats. These rivers are observed to drain in the Bay of Bengal. Hence, they are known as east-flowing rivers. There are two other major rivers in peninsular India that flow in the west. These rivers are the Narmada and the Tapi that drain themselves into the Arabian Sea. Along with these major rivers, there are numerous smaller rivers that drain into the Arabian Sea. It is observed that the peninsular rivers are smaller than the Himalayan rivers. The Narmada River is 1,312 km long, making it the fifth largest river in India. It flows in the east-west direction. It is the largest west-flowing river. This river forms the border between the north and south parts of India. It originates from a small tank called Narmada Kund in Amarkantak Hills, Madhya Pradesh. This river flows through the states of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. The next para basically tells us that the Narmada River is India's fifth largest river flowing in an east-west direction for 1,312 kilometers. The Narmada River, which flows through the Rift Valley and was created by faulting, is the largest west-flowing river. The Narmada River, which is being lengthened, serves as a border between India's northern and southern regions. The Narmada originates in the Amarkantak Hills of Madhya Pradesh in a small tank known as Narmada Kund. The Narmada River flows northeast, narrowing as it approaches Jabalpur. The Narmada River flows through Dhandhara 9, a 9-meter waterfall near Jabalpur. After that, it runs for 3 kilometers over magnesium limestone and basalt rocks known as marble rocks in a long narrow. The Sardar Sarovar Dam is considered to be one of the largest dams in India. It covers a total of 4 states of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Rajasthan. This project was built to increase irrigation and generate hydroelectricity. The construction of this project started in 1979. It is built near Navagam, Gujarat. The canal of river Narmada is the largest in the world. Let's read the paragraph and understand the river Narmada in detail. So the Sardar Sarovar Dam, which spans Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Rajasthan, is one of India's largest water supply projects. The project was started in 1979 as part of a development plan to improve irrigation and generate hydroelectricity. The Sardar Sarovar Dam is located near the Gujarat town of Navagam. Sardar Sarovar Dam, one of the 30 proposed dams on the Narmada River, is the biggest structure to be constructed. The Narmada main canal will be the world's largest irrigation canal. The Tapi River or the Tapti River is a significant river of the peninsular India. It originates at the Maltai in the Dudhsagar age of Maharashtra. It is a westerly flowing river. It drains itself into the Gulf of Combat near Surat in Gujarat. This river is one of the 3 rivers that flows from east-west in the peninsular India category. River Tapi also covers some parts of Madhya Pradesh. Purana, Girna and Panzara are the principal tributaries of the Tapi River. The river Godavari is close to the west direction to the south of India. This river is the largest river in peninsular India. It originates at Rambha-Keshwar Hills in Nasik. This river flows through the states of Andhra Pradesh. It drains into the Bay of Bengal in Andhra Pradesh. It is also named as Dakshin Ganga. Pranitha, Vardha, Manjira, Vaiganga and Penganga are its significant tributaries. This river covers states such as Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. The river Mahanadi in Chhattisgarh is a seasonal river. It is an eastward flowing river and passes through Odisha. The Hirakud Dam, that is the longest dam built in India, runs across the river. This river covers states of Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha. The Krishna River is one of the longest rivers in the central southern part of India and it rises from Mahabaleshwar in Maharashtra. It drains itself into the Bay of Bengal. Koyna, Panchganga, Ghataprabha and Tungabhadra are the main tributaries of river Krishna. From the left bank, the Musi and Bhima are the tributaries of this river. It covers the states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. The Irwin Bridge in Sangli was built on the Krishna River by the British government. It is one of the oldest, largest and historic bridges. The bridge is built with 2 passages which help to climb the middle of the bridge and enjoy the view of the river water. The Alkali Bridge in Sangli was also built in the British era. It is one of the oldest bridges that connects Maharashtra and Karnataka. The Nagarjuna Sagar Dam is built on the Krishna River on the border of Guntur and Nalgonda district of Andhra Pradesh. The third largest hydroelectric project of the country is the Srisailam of the Kurnool district in Andhra Pradesh. The following table shows the names of the major rivers we read about with the names of their sources. River Indus, source Kailash Range. River Ganga, source Gangotri Glacier. River Yamuna, source Yamunotri Glacier. River Brahmaputra, source Yangtze Glacier. River Narmada, source Amarkantak Hills. River Tapi, source Satpura Range. River Godavari, source Trimbakeshwar Hills. River Mahanandi, source Eastern Ghats, Chhattisgarh. River Krishna, source Mahabaleshwar. River Kaveri, source Western Ghats, Brahmagiri Range. The following slide shows the comparison between the east-flowing rivers and the west-flowing rivers in a tabular form. Let's read the table to understand. East-flowing rivers. The Mahanadi, Godavari, the Krishna and the Kaveri are the main east-flowing rivers of peninsular India. West-flowing rivers. The Narmada and Tapi are the main west-flowing rivers of peninsular India. East-flowing rivers. These rivers drain into the Bay of Bengal. West-flowing rivers. These rivers drain into the Arabian Sea. East-flowing rivers. These rivers make deltas at their mouth. West-flowing rivers. These rivers center the sea through estuaries. East-flowing rivers. These rivers have developed large tributary systems. West-flowing rivers. These rivers are devoid of a developed tributary system. These tributaries are quite small in size. East-flowing rivers. These rivers do not flow through very deep canals. These rivers flow through very deep canals. West-flowing rivers. These rivers flow through troughs. Lakes are a vital part of the geography as well as tourism of India. The structure of this water differs region-wise, which means the characteristics of the lakes in the Himalayan region and peninsular regions will differ. The lakes are classified as freshwater and saltwater lakes and natural and man-made lakes. The table in the slide highlights names of the lakes and gives their classification as freshwater or saltwater, natural or man-made. Lakes. Freshwater lakes. Lakes. Bular. Region Jammu. Types natural or man-made, natural. Lakes. Dal. Region Srinagar. Types natural or man-made, natural. Lakes. Bhimtal. Region Uttarakhand. Types natural. Lakes. Nainital. Region Uttarakhand. Types natural. Lakes. Loktak. Region Manipur. Types natural. Lakes. Debar. Region Madhya Pradesh. Types natural. Lakes. Pushkar. Region Rajasthan. Types man-made. Lakes. Vimbanad. Region Kerala. Types natural. Lakes. Gobind Sagar. Region Punjab. Types man-made. Lakes. Sardar Sarovar. Region Gujarat. Types man-made. Lakes. Hussain Sagar. Region Telangana. Types man-made. Lakes. Osman Sagar. Region Telangana. Types man-made. Lakes. Koleru. Region Andhra Pradesh. Types natural. Lakes. Rana Pratap Sagar. Region Rajasthan. Types man-made. Saltwater lakes. Lake Sambhar. Region Rajasthan. Types natural. Lake Nakki. Region Rajasthan. Types natural. Lakes. Pulikat. Region Andhra Pradesh. Types natural. Lakes. Chilka. Region Odisha. Types natural. Lakes. Ravindra Sarovar. Region West Bengal. Types natural. The following slide shows the difference between ecological and economic use of the rivers in a tabular form. Let us read the table and understand how rivers help us. Ecological: help regulate the flow of water. Economical: essential for agriculture, industry. Ecological: flood control during heavy rainfall. Economical: used for hydroelectric generation, inland navigation, tourism and recreation. Ecological: helps moderate the climate of surrounding areas. Economical: helps develop fisheries. Ecological: maintains even flow of water during summer. Ecological: maintains an aquatic ecosystem. Goa has 2 major and 7 minor rivers. The names of the main rivers are mentioned in the slide below. These rivers originate in the Sahyadri range. They flow westward and drain themselves into the Arabian Sea. The state of Goa is traversed by 2 main and 7 minor rivers. The Zuari, Mandovi, Tiraksol, Chapora, Sol, Talpona and Galgibaga are the major rivers. Many of these rivers flow westward into the Arabian Sea from the Sahyadri mountains. These rivers have wide valleys that cut through the Sahyadri and are navigable all year. The ships will travel into the interior area where there are no iron ore mines because the Zuari and Mandovi are linked by the Kambharja Canal. At Cabo Aguda, the Mandovi and Zuari rivers meet and flow into the Arabian Sea. Along with beautiful beaches, Goa has numerous rivers too. Let's read the paragraph to understand more about these rivers. The first river is the river Zuari. This tidal river is the largest in the state. Himadbarshan in the Western Ghats is the origin of this river. The other name of this river is Agana Shani. The bridge built on the Zuari river connects various villages of Agasain in the north to Kortalim in the south. The river passes through the talukas of Tiswadi, Ponda, Mormugao, Selsete, Senguem and Kuepem. The next river we are going to discuss is the river Mandovi. The other names of this river are Mahadai and Mahadi. This river is the lifeline of the state of Goa. The origin of this river is the group of 30 springs at Bhimgad in the Belgavi district, Karnataka. This river enters Goa from the Satari Taluka. The next river is called the river Chapora, which originates at Hejoli, a village in Maharashtra. It flows through the Tilari Ghat and then enters Goa. It acts as a division between Pernem and Bardes of North Goa. It drains into the Arabian Sea. The Mapusa river, originating from the jungles of Dumasem and Amthane, takes an initial turn eastward and later outwards. This river has been extensively used for the transportation of valuable commodities like agricultural products and spices. The town of Mapusa is situated on the river bank. In this slide, we are going to discuss 4 more rivers like the Sal River, Terekhoi River, Talpona River, Galgibaga River. Let's move on to the next paragraphs and understand how these rivers are an important asset to the state of Goa. Sal River. South Goa is crossed by this river. Until draining into the Arabian Sea at Betul, it passes through Margao, Navelim, Chinchinim and Asolna. Sal is Goa's 3rd largest dam. Sal, on the other hand, will brag about possessing the 3rd largest basin in the province. Sal River is a geographical and hydrological oddity since it is the only river in the world that flows north-south before joining the Arabian Sea at Betul. Terekhoi River. In Maharashtra's Western Ghats, it rises around Manohargarh. The upper reaches of this river are known as Banda. while the lower reaches are known as ekhol. It flows southwesterly through Maharashtra and Goa, forming a border between the two states. River Talpona. South Goa is crossed by this river. It goes through the taluka of Kanakona. It drains into the Arabian Sea and flows from east to west. River Galgibaga. This is Goa's southernmost river. It drains into the Arabian Sea after passing through the Kanakona taluka. Maye Lake, situated in the Bicholim district of Goa, located 35 kilometers from Panaji, is an artificial lake. Another lake located at 12 kilometers from Panaji is known as Karabolim Lake, and the Kartorim Lake in South Goa are natural lakes. Along with lakes, Goa has many natural springs. These springs are located in Kesarwal. The Konkani term Bodli Zor means springs. There are several medicinal springs located near Baga beach. There are about 100 medicinal springs built in Goa during the Kedamba period. Dear children, next we are going to discuss a waterfall, extremely scenic and a very important tourist location. This location has been spotted in various movies as well. The location we are discussing is the Dudhsagar waterfalls. This waterfall is the 5th highest waterfall in the world. The height of this waterfall is 310 meters and a width of 30 meters. The best season to visit this waterfall is the peak monsoon season. The next slide comprises a few multiple choice questions. Read the question carefully and pick out the right answer. Let's look at the answers now. Correct answer: Bhagirathi. Correct answer: Jalkund. Correct answer: Godavari. Correct answer: Sambhar. Correct answer: Mapusa. Correct answer: Terekhol. The following slide lists a few questions that you are expected to answer in brief. Read the questions carefully and search for the answers from the lesson. The following slide lists a few questions that you are expected to answer. Read the questions carefully and search for the answers from the lesson. First, compare the rivers of Himalayan region with those of rivers of Peninsular India. Second, why are rivers important for India? Third, write a note on drainage patterns. Next, and write a note on any of the rivers of Goa. Let's check out the answers. First, Himalayan rivers get water from snow and rain, whereas peninsular rivers are fed by rain only. Second, the drainage basin of Himalayan rivers is comparatively larger than the peninsular rivers. Third, Himalayan rivers' water helps in the irrigation of northern plains. In contrast, peninsular rivers irrigate the Deccan Plateau. Fourth, Himalayan rivers form a V-shaped valley while peninsular watercourses form valleys having a U-shape. Second, rivers are important for the country's economy because water from the rivers is a basic natural resource essential for various human activities. These are: the rivers provide water for irrigation. They provide fertility to the soil. They are useful for navigation. They help to generate hydroelectricity. They help to develop tourism. They provide water for various domestic uses. They provide livelihood to fishermen. They help to moderate the climate and environment of nearby areas. Third, a drainage pattern can be defined in the shadow of topographical features from which a stream gets runoff through flow, and groundwater flow, which can be divided by topographic barriers called a watershed. A watershed can be defined as all of the stream tributaries that flow to some location along the stream channel. I want you guys to answer the second part of the question. Take it as homework. In the next activity, there is a list of names of lakes given. You are expected to classify them under two categories, namely the natural lakes and the lakes created by human beings. Group the names given below of a few lakes of India under two categories, natural and created by human beings. A. Wooler. B. Dal. C. Nainital. D. Bhimtal. E. Dudhsagar. F. Loktak. G. Barapani. H. Chilika. I. Sambhar. J. Rana Pratap Sagar. K. Nizam Sagar. L. Pulikat. M. Nagarjuna Sagar. N. Hirakund. Let's discuss the answers. Natural lakes. A. Wooler. B. Dal. C. Nainital. D. Bhimtal. F. Loktak. G. Barapani Sambhar. H. Chilika. I. Sambhar. L. Pulikat. Lakes created by human beings. E. Gobind Sagar. J. Rana Pratap Sagar. K. Nizam Sagar. M. Nagarjuna Sagar. N. Hirakund. So, that's it for today. Thank you, class, and I hope you all had fun learning.